Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday. It is time for the 10 TV Weather Impact Show. We are so glad you're joining us. Wow, it's only Tuesday. I feel like after a holiday weekend, it just, the beginning of the work week's a little rougher.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned Tuesday because it's, one of those weeks where you're like, what day is it?
That's true.
We're back to work, right? Yeah.
I guess we're at work.
You and I are.
I mean, we're not.
The weather's definitely keeping you busy, right?
It has. I mean, traffic this morning was crazy.
Oh my gosh, I'm glad.
Just a little bit of rain, and we did have some slick spots.
Fog, too.
And fog.
Yeah, there's a lot going on today.
Mother Nature not being nice. But this afternoon, a completely different story for us. A lot more sunshine. Right. We had those storms this morning. And honestly, there wasn't a lot of lightning. It was more the heavy downpours. But the rest of the day's forecast, lots of sunshine for us. You can see it out there right now. And the temperatures this afternoon and going into the weekend are actually going to be where they're supposed to be, near normal for this time of year in the mid to upper 80s. But over the next 12 hours, you can see as we go into the second half of the day, we're going to be seeing that sunshine stay out, some clearer skies tonight, and temperatures aren't really going to be that bad this evening. In fact, we'll get back into the upper 60s going overnight and into your day on Wednesday. But I really like the feels like forecast because this will be very close to the air temperature, which means there's some humidity, but there's not a lot of humidity. So we're kind of right there in the middle where you'll notice it's humid, but it's not going to be crazy like yesterday where you walked outside, and I don't know if you have curly hair like me, but my hair was just all the way out to here. It's just so humid, like we're almost in Florida. But I know it's been tough to golf yesterday, especially. I can tell you I'm giving a golf gopher forecast today and tomorrow especially, and even into Thursday. Going to depend on the timing of storms that develop, but for right now, I can tell you it is looking good to get that tee time booked. But the precip chances, you can see, really tapered off this morning and then going into the afternoon. It stays that way. Today's really not going to be a day with rain in the forecast. We saw that move through earlier this morning. And now, the rest of the day, we will see mainly sunny skies. Could have a few clouds stream through, especially some of those, big fluffier cumulus clouds, as we like to say. You'll see those out there, but those aren't going to lead to rain or anything like that. As we go overnight, I'll stop the clock here for Wednesday morning. Could have some clouds and some fog move in again, but not really looking to be any rain in the forecast for us right now. And then as we go into Wednesday afternoon, you can see further to the north, we might see a stream of some showers and thunderstorms, but most of us will stay sunny and most of us are looking to stay dry right now. And then as we go into the evening, there may be a few showers and storms that fire up as we go overnight and into the early morning hours for your Thursday. But for today, the main weather headline for us going to be less rain. I like to say a tad bit humid because yesterday was super humid. Today we still are a little bit humid, but nothing like we saw, and that's because those dew points are now down into the 60s. 87 for our afternoon high here. Lots of mid to upper 80s across central Ohio, and very similar highs for us again as we go into the forecast tomorrow. Like I said, any showers or storms are going to be a lot more isolated versus anything else. And then you can see as we go into the extended forecast, we are going to have those temperatures go up a little bit more this weekend. We are looking to get some more moisture back in, so that also means that humidity will be on its way up. And then we'll be close to 90 again by Friday and Saturday. We're keeping an eye on the humidity forecast because, of course, if it gets higher, those feels like numbers go up and it makes it a lot more difficult to be outdoors for long periods of time. I mean, I don't know about you, on Sunday, I was golfing over at OSU, and just being outdoors for longer periods of time, you really notice in the peak daytime heating hours to refill that water bottle over and over again. You just got so tired.
Yeah, it's really important to hydrate too, so I'm glad you did that. It looked like you had fun though, which was good.
It
was
good weather
for
time golfing there. First time golfing there.
Absolutely. And I was looking at those chances of rain. It's like at least it does cool us down a little bit. As you mentioned, like this past weekend, it was really hot out there. But again, cool downs a little bit with the rain.
Yes.
But the mugginess, I can't, I just got to stay on that.
You should see us in the morning. Yeah, we're so funny in the morning. We're just like, oh, it's going to be a bad hair day.
I'm always redoing it. I'm trying, guys. I'm trying.
I know people watching at home, you know exactly how we feel, but today's a little bit more manageable. But we want to get to some other headlines happening across the country. Crews are actually working around the clock right now in Texas. As you know, it's been a top headline. They're trying to find any survivors from that flash flooding.
Absolutely. And from last week's historic flash floods, as you mentioned, as of this morning, officials say more than 100 people have died, including nearly 30 kids from a camp. The frantic search is intensifying as hundreds of rescue workers, some volunteers, sift through debris in hopes of finding those still missing.
It's complicated by the broad, the mass of people that we're looking for. This is going to take a while.
I had to wait a minute for them to hug their mom first. I'm kind of chopped liver, but ultimately when I did get the hugs, they were really sweet.
Devastating news, obviously, out there. 10 children and 1 counselor from Camp Mystic in hard-hit Kerr County are still unaccounted for as of Tuesday morning. President Trump last night says he plans to visit Texas this Friday.
Now, Ohio is helping out. They're sending some assistance to Texas. Governor Mike DeWine called for 20 Ohio State Highway Patrol troopers and several K-9 units from ODNR. Now, they will help with traffic control, humanitarian aid, search and recovery efforts in those areas that were hardest hit with flash flooding. They'll be working to fully make things operational in Texas by 6 tomorrow morning. And then they're going to work there for the next week. A lot of prayers and thoughts go with them as they head out.
I'm glad we're able to help out with that too. Very, very catastrophic out there, really. Well, the trouble with flash floods, they can often hit just all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's very scary. So I went to our local National Weather Service offices. They're the ones that issue flash flood watches and warnings and whatnot. And we talked about how to stay safe when floodwaters come rushing into your neighborhoods.
The tragedy in central Texas is heartbreaking. Flash flooding resulting in a continually climbing death toll of at least 80 and dozens still unaccounted for.
It was nothing short of horrific to see what those young children went through. And we will remain 100% dedicated, searching for every single one of the children.
Flash flooding is one of the leading causes of weather-related fatalities in the U.S. and can happen at any time of day, any time of year.
It's especially dangerous at night because you can't always see the flood waters.
Flash flooding can happen in as little as a few minutes or after hours of continuous rain in the same location. While there's a number of reasons it can occur, there are 2 major contributing factors: the amount of rain that falls and how long it persists.
Flooding can occur sometimes when you have really high rates. So a really heavy rain coming in a short amount of time is one thing. And then sometimes you have a prolonged period of rainfall. We have several hours or several waves of rainfall moving over the same area that can also create flooding.
And another thing to keep in mind, some locations are more flood prone than others, which can include homes and businesses, or some of your favorite places to camp and hike.
You want to make sure to look out if you're near a river, if you are going to be in a low-lying area, all those areas that are really flash flood prone. Even urban areas, you don't have where water can really seep into the ground as easily, so you can get some runoff pretty easily in urban areas.
It's important to also know the difference between a watch and a warning.
A flash flood watch means that conditions are favorable for flash flooding. And so then you have your flash flood warning where conditions are imminent. They're expected to happen or they're already occurring.
Remember, it can happen with little to no advance notice. And it's important to have a plan in place of what to do if the conditions are favorable for it to occur, such as threats of slower moving thunderstorms or continuously heavy rain.
Have a variety of sources to get weather information because one might not always work. If a communication method goes down, it's good to have backup communications to make sure that you can get the warning and get to safety.
Wow, a really good package right there, Mayor. Great job.
Thank you. It's just important stuff that we want to get out to people because you never know when that's going to happen in our communities.
Absolutely. Well, this is the only thing that's obviously devastating our country. It's now been 6 months since a pair of deadly and destructive wildfires erupted in Southern California. At least 30 people have died. An early estimate projected at least $250 billion in damage and economic losses from these fires alone.
This has been the fastest fire recovery in terms of debris removal in modern history.
Now an early estimate projected at least $250 billion, again, as I mentioned, in damages, economic losses from the fire. So definitely, obviously, as well as in Texas, keeping our thoughts and prayers with those affected.
You know, a lot of times we look at these national stories because, you know, it's not as numerous that happen in our community, but we could have brush fires or wildfires like we had the drought situation last year that can happen. I mean, flash flooding can happen. We had a flash flood warning actually last night for Athens County and parts of Morgan County. And thankfully, nothing as tragic as we saw in Texas. But sometimes it just takes one cell to just drop so much rain in such a short period of time. And, you know, it's like anything else, right? You want to have your plan in place for a fire, for a tornado, for severe weather, for hurricane season. All different hazards. If you have a kit for everything, you're good to go.
Yeah, absolutely. I know we were mentioning this show was kind of a little bit more somber because we had a lot of like just awful news to share.
Right.
But again, as you're mentioning, this is a good reminder just to make sure to be very safe. We have a lot of different weather events going on across the country. There are ways to avoid it if you can and just do so safely.
Yes, but we are getting into the rest of summer. So you know what? There's a lot of great activities. I know it's only Tuesday, but I'm looking forward to the weekend. I know you are too.
Yeah,
already.
Absolutely. Golfing?
Yeah, actually Friday I'm golfing with my cousin. I'm gonna go up to Safari and try that out.
Oh, wow.
But I'm trying to learn different courses. I know there's so many golf courses, public courses out there. I'm open for all the suggestions. I'm new to town, so help me out with golf. I know. We're like, I don't talk about golf, but or whatever is interesting. Let Bree and I know. We'd like to check out community events. We want to support your towns, your communities. We're here for you.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, that is it for your weather update here on 10 TV Plus. Now coming up later tonight at 6, Chief Meteorologist Jerry Mart's going to be in and have an update on our work week forecast. But no, until then, you can always catch more news, traffic, and weather online at 10tv.com. We hope you have a great afternoon.